What is SaGa Frontier 2? Is it any good, and is it worth the purchase? Hello Physical Fiends, it's Jordan here with another video about physical video games, where I play a game for a short amount of time to see if I would purchase this myself. This is SaGa Frontier 2 Remastered, the download code of which I am obligated to tell you was provided by Square Enix. Thank you. So this was shadow dropped digitally on the eShop and other consoles after the Nintendo Direct for $30, but of course, this is Physical Paradise. I would not make a video in this style if it did not have a physical release. Now, if you check the links down below in the description and pinned comment, you will see that it will be getting a physical release. In fact, I'll go against the norm and start this video by detailing the physical release, since it may be a bit of a surprise to some of you. So yeah, on the 5th of June in Singapore, there is gonna be a physical release of this game, and it will have English on the Nintendo Switch. There is no North American or European physical release that is planned, at least that I'm aware of. And if the series' history is anything to go by, on the Nintendo Switch there will not be. I don't want to rule it out, since Red Hot Games are eventually doing Romancing Saga Minstrel Song, and the big budget remake of the second game in the series did get one, but all the other games in the series have only been available physically in Asia, in English. Just to quickly go through them: Romancing Saga 2, the original, Romancing Saga 3, SaGa Frontier Remastered, SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions, and SaGa Emerald Beyond. If you want any of those physically in English on the Switch, you need the Asian physical release. And SaGa Frontier 2 Remastered looks to be joining those ranks. Now, there probably will also be a physical release in Korea and Hong Kong as well. However, with the information I'm currently getting, I do not believe they will have English. Only the Singapore physical will have English, that is for sure. If you want to pre-order it, the one that does have English, and you want to support me at the same time because you think I'm useful, check the links in the description and pinned comment. That is where you'll find it on the Nintendo Switch. That is the only English physical release that we know. I just want to get that point across. Plus, if you click the Play Asia link, not only do you support me, but you can also get 5% off if you use my discount code Jordan2025. But would you want to? What is the game? Well, it is really interesting. If you like JRPGs from the golden era, I'm pretty sure you've already pre-ordered this bad boy or bought it digitally when it launched. This is the first time me playing the game, and after about 5 hours or so, I have been thoroughly enjoying it with all its quirks. I am very familiar with the SaGa series and their penchant for idiosyncratic structure, and this very much follows its own tune. I'm not even sure why it's called Frontier 2, since it's very different from Frontier 1, which is one of my favorites. This entry has two main protagonists with seemingly unconnected stories. They are even from very different walks of life with very different goals. One is an exiled prince who is laughed at for his inability to cast spells, while the other is a treasure hunter of sorts who wants to find out what really happened to his parents, and it will only be later in the game that their paths will cross and the two stories will come together. The structure is a little strange when you play because you have a choice of who you want to follow, and you have to play mini chapters of sorts to progress the story for that character and the timeline, which is very nicely presented here. You start off when you are young, and they get older as the chapters progress, with big jumps in time, often years between scenes. So the story is big, but you mostly get a snapshot of events. Things tend to happen suddenly. Oh look, where did that come from? Chapters are bite-sized and come in various guises. Sometimes they can be entirely just a cutscene, that's easy. Sometimes they are dungeon-focused as you head into battling monsters. Sometimes they can be adventure or puzzle-focused, which has you like chatting with people around town more than anything. It's a real up-and-down experience in terms of pacing. Due to its non-linearity, you can see chapters out of chronological order, so you kind of make your own pacing by accident. Now, out of all the SaGa series, this is probably the most linear of the lot of them, but compared to other JRPGs, it is still quite non-linear. Narratively, it may seem unsatisfying as things jump around and you don't hold on to scenes or chapters for very long, but it does work. You can't have a generational spanning narrative and get all the details. Sacrifices do have to be made, but I tell you what, I was definitely on board with both of the main protagonists. And Protagonists is the SaGa series' greatest weakness in my opinion, but I think they nailed it here. I felt connected with them, they got their time to shine, their personality, it's all good, at least so far. And this remaster has added story scenes where they weren't before, filling in gaps that were maybe hinted at but never shown before, whether due to time constraints or they never thought about it. There is quite a lot added as well, plus there is some post-game content to take on too. Very nice of them. The battle system is very JRPG-like. The series' glimmer system still doesn't make sense to me though, but that's fine, you don't need it to. Sometimes you'll learn new attacks and combos at seemingly random intervals. There are lots of attacks, weapon types, and elements, and it's presented really nicely, which is cool. In this remaster, you can speed things up by 2 times, which I'm not always a proponent of, but here I did use it pretty much all of the time because the default animation is quite slow. It's cool, but come on, we've got things to do, guys. But in terms of battles, it's not just you and your squad. Sometimes you have the option to have a one-on-one duel, choosing one of your team members to go toe-to-toe with just one monster. You can set up 4 actions together before unleashing them. Maybe you'll create some combos, who knows, it's a SaGa game. And it's all visually very cool. There are also occasionally strategy battles, which I like a lot. You move your characters around like a Fire Emblem game, but when you connect with your enemy, you jump in like a normal battle with monsters. Except this time against troops. You have to wipe out their squad in one turn, otherwise they will fully recover for the next turn. It's best to gang up on them, and I like this quite a lot. So it's taken a bit of inspiration from Suikoden in variety there, and as much as I love those games more, SaGa Frontier 2 has more depth in these areas for sure. It is also worth noting that in the Japanese release on PlayStation 1, the game was compatible with the Pocket Station, which was the equivalent of the Dreamcast memory card, playing mini games on a little screen memory card thingy-mabob. Naturally, the West missed out on most of these, but in this remaster, you can do it in-game. You can take part in the minigame where you send characters off to mine for items, some really rare and highly coveted ones as well. Make sure to take advantage of it. Now, the big selling point of SaGa Frontier 2 back in the day was the art style. Gone is the pre-rendered chunky goodness, and in comes character sprites on watercolor backgrounds. It still looks fantastic on a CRT TV to this day, but of course with this remaster you'd expect they've spruced it up even more and it'll look even more wonderful on modern HD TVs. Well, most of the time, yes, it still looks absolutely stellar and even more so, but not all areas have upscaled equally. There are a few rough places here and there, often ones that you see for only like 20 seconds and the developers knew it, so they didn't bother putting too much effort into those. But I do think it's been very successful overall, and it's beautiful, there's no doubt about it. The music, I believe, is untouched, and that's because anyone who tried to touch it would probably get their hands scalded. No need to touch what is a fantastic soundtrack. Now, before we get into my final thoughts, if you are new to this channel because you search for SaGa Frontier 2 Remastered like the boss that you are, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button. I'm assuming you also enjoy physical media because you saw the box art and you was intrigued. Then, this channel is very useful for physical goodness, and you will become a physical fiend before you know it. Plus, the bigger this channel is, the more publishers will pay attention to the demand for physical media, so do your bit and subscribe, and you also make me happy as well. Would I buy this myself? Hell yes, of course I would. It's fantastic, another JRPG that you can't really compare to your usual cliches. In fact, SaGa has become a cliche in and of itself for not being a cliche. They feel eternally experimental, which will certainly put some people off who just want an easy-to-follow traditional experience. However, I would say that of the whole bunch of SaGa games that I've played, and I've not played all of them, but the ones I have, this one feels like the most accessible, despite the weird plot structure. Once that fully clicks into place, you'll feel right at home as much as you would with Final Fantasy VII or whatever. And this remaster has it presented much more clearly as to what's going on. You'll feel lost for like 10 minutes, but then you'll be fine. This remaster is exactly what anyone would want. It's a great enhancement without overstepping the mark, and I cannot wait to play more. Will you be buying this? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to pre-order the English physical release from Singapore on Nintendo Switch, then please do so via the links in the description. That massively helps support me and this channel to keep providing useful physical content for you guys. I really do appreciate from the bottom of my heart. Check out some of my other useful videos, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.